Earth, our blue planet, home to an abundance of life. A planet of greenery and water, a living planet. With rich forests, teeming seas, and seasons colored by flowers of every hue. The natural environment is the Earth's priceless gift to all its creatures, and the precious wellspring of all life.
Hi, I'm Daichi. My name is Sora.
And I'm Earth. Today, we're going to learn about nature and the environment, and about how important it is to protect and preserve our planet. This is the International Center for Environmental Technology Transfer, or ICETT for short. It's involved in various projects aimed at protecting the global environment.
That sounds important.
The environment can't be protected properly unless all the countries of the world work together. ICETT takes Japan's environmental technology and know-how and teaches it to many countries around the world. So what's so important about things like global warming and protecting the environment? Well, come with me and we'll find out.
Okay.
Mie Prefecture is teeming with nature. This is Odaigahara, in the southern part of Mie. With one of the highest rainfall rates in Japan, this area has an abundance of water and is home to many unique kinds of plant and animal life, including the Japanese deer and the Asian black bear. In the same area is this large gorge called Osugidani. Osugidani has waterfalls over 100 meters high and many mountain streams and falls among a clutter of giant boulders. The river that flows out of this gorge into Ise Bay is called the Miyagawa. It's the longest river in Mie, and in 1991 it was chosen in a national government survey of river water quality as one of the cleanest rivers in Japan. This pure, clear water is ideal for raising crops and affords many scenic spots for people to relax and have fun.
Wow, look at all the cherry blossoms.
In Japan, the 4 seasons are quite distinct, each with its own array of beautiful flowers and scenery. Flowers make things look so pretty and peaceful, don't you think? This is another of nature's precious gifts to us. So you see how very important it is to protect nature so that beautiful flowers and scenes like this don't disappear from the world. Hear that? The Earth's crying out in pain.
Why is that?
Okay, kids, let's take a look at how the Earth's environment is suffering. Over very long periods of time, the Earth's climate alternates between cold periods, called glacial epochs or ice ages, and warmer periods called interglacial epochs or interice ages. At the moment, we're in an interice age. The mammoths died out about 10,000 years ago, just as the current interice age began. At that time, the Earth's average air temperature is thought to have been about 3 to 6 degrees Celsius lower than it is today. Over the following 1,000 years or so, the air temperature rose to about 15 degrees Celsius, and then it remained at roughly that level for the next 9,000 years up to the present. The temperature has been so stable for so long because the Earth is covered in greenhouse gases that work to provide a very comfortable environment for many forms of life, including humans.
What are greenhouse gases?
You see, the Earth is wrapped in an atmosphere of various gases, such as nitrogen and oxygen. Some of these gases, like carbon dioxide and methane, are called greenhouse gases because they trap heat energy, just like temperature-controlled greenhouses for raising plants. Light radiation traveling to the Earth from the Sun contains not only visible light, but also infrared and ultraviolet light rays. Infrared light warms the Earth's surface, then bounces back towards space as heat energy. The greenhouse gases absorb some of this warm infrared light on its way out into space and reflect it toward the Earth again. And this overall process warms the Earth's atmosphere. So you see how greenhouse gases are closely connected to the Earth's air temperature.
Gee, I didn't know that. Neither did I.
Nowadays, however, the amount of carbon dioxide in the world has increased so much that the layer of greenhouse gases has gotten too thick. This means the atmosphere is absorbing too much heat and the Earth's temperature is going up. So why is the amount of carbon dioxide increasing? Well, since the Industrial Revolution around the late 18th century, we humans have made great strides in devising technology to enhance our lives. As part of that technical progress, however, we've come to use enormous amounts of coal and oil as fuel, and the burning of such fuels has produced a lot of carbon dioxide. With the resulting rise in air temperature, scientists predict that by the year 2100, the Earth's average air temperature will be from 1.4 to 5.8 degrees Celsius higher than it was in the year 1900. This warming up is producing harmful effects on the global environment.
But a temperature rise of just a few degrees doesn't sound so bad.
But that's where you're wrong, Sora. Let's look at some of the harmful effects of this global warming process. According to current predictions, if the Earth's average air temperature rises by just 1.4 to 5.8 degrees Celsius, glaciers in the South Pole and other cold regions will start to melt, the oceans will swell, and the sea level will rise by anywhere between 9 and 88 centimeters. Now, if the sea level were to rise by just 30 centimeters, 50% of the world's beaches would disappear underwater. And some atoll islands in the South Pacific would be completely submerged. And if the sea level rises by 1 meter, Japan will lose about 90% of its beaches.
You mean we wouldn't be able to go swimming at the seaside? No more trips to the beach?
That's not all. Listen.
Excessive global warming would cause freak weather, large-scale flooding, bushfires, and desertification of previously fertile land. On the health front, it would expand the range of infectious tropical diseases. In terms of food supply, the resulting changes in temperature and rainfall would cause an increase in insects that damage crops. And animals unable to adapt to the changing climate would start to die out.
So what's going to happen to the Earth? What can we do to save it?
Okay, let's think about what we can do. Once carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere, it stays there from anywhere from 50 to 200 years. And its effects start to appear about 20 to 30 years after it's released. That means that if we don't reverse the current increase of carbon dioxide soon, we're really going to pay for it in the future. With that in mind, a major international conference on global warming was held in Kyoto in 1997. The conference set targets for each country to reduce its greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide emissions. It was decided that Japan must reduce its greenhouse gas emissions by 6% and the EU by 8% of their respective 1990 emission levels.
In order to reduce the level of carbon dioxide, it's crucial that we switch to clean forms of energy that don't give off pollutants. Let's look at some examples of clean energy. Wind power generation is a method of converting the natural force of wind into electricity. This requires a wind speed of at least 3 meters per second. Here on the Aoyama Plateau in Mie Prefecture, The wind blows at an average speed of 7.5 meters per second, making it an ideal location for wind power generation, with 24 wind turbines generating 17,000 kilowatts of electricity. This is the largest wind power station on the Honshu mainland. The electricity generated here is sent to the nearby city of Hisai, where it supplies 15,000, or roughly 70% of the city's homes. Another clean way to generate electricity is by harnessing the light energy of the sun, or solar power generation. These are battery-like devices called photovoltaic cells, or solar cells. Using layers of two different types of semiconductors, they generate an electric current when exposed to sunlight. The roof of this elementary school in Mie Prefecture is fitted with solar panels that supply electric power to the classrooms and other rooms in the school. In fact, the entire school has been designed and built as an eco-school.
What's an eco-school?
An eco-school is a school that has not only solar power, but also other kinds of environment-friendly equipment. These desks and chairs, for example, are made from timber offcuts that can't be used for regular building. Using this scrap wood for furniture helps conserve precious timber resources. The school's window blinds are made from recycled PET bottles, and these tiles are made from scrap glass. Take a look at this car.
It says it's called Suisokun.
Right. Suiso is Japanese for hydrogen, and this is a fuel cell electric car that runs on hydrogen and so doesn't emit any carbon dioxide at all. A fuel cell is like a mini electric power generator. It makes electricity through a chemical reaction between the oxygen in the air and hydrogen supplied from a fuel tank. Cars equipped with such fuel cells operate by electric motor, so they make hardly any noise and don't give off any exhaust fumes whatsoever.
Cool.
Isn't it? At the moment, these cars are still too expensive for ordinary people to buy, and they need special hydrogen stations for refueling. But they're expected to become more and more common in the future as a clean and environment-friendly form of transportation. Okay, now let's look at some of the ways you and I can help to stop global warming.
Switch off lights and air conditioners when you leave the room. Set air conditioners to no lower than 28 degrees Celsius in summer and no higher than 20 degrees Celsius in winter. Keep the number of times you open the refrigerator to a minimum. When driving, don't rev the engine or take off with sudden bursts of power.
Now let's check out some of the endangered plant and animal life of Mie, and at the precious natural environments that have nurtured them. This creature is the Japanese giant salamander. Some people call it a kind of living fossil.
Why is it called a living fossil?
That's because it has almost exactly the same shape as an animal found in fossil form in rock layers from thousands of years ago. That means it's been living happily in this ideal habitat for many centuries, without having to evolve or alter its form. It's important to protect the environment so that precious creatures like this can continue to survive, right?
Right.
This plant is the Nohanashobu, or blue flag iris. It's the original variety of the Hanashobu iris, and its flowers have the same shape now as they did in ancient times. These days, however, the areas where this ancient iris still grows are dwindling, and the Japanese government has designated it an important natural heritage plant. The Hanashobu is the floral emblem of Mie Prefecture. It's important that we protect the natural habitats of these precious flowers too. This is the mountain Gozai Shodake. It's the highest peak in the Suzuka mountain range and home to various rare animals and plants. With a ropeway and lots of hiking trails, it's also a favorite spot for families and hikers. Problem is that with so many people visiting the mountain, parts of its natural environment are being polluted and damaged. Some people are working hard to stop this from happening and to ensure that the mountain's beautiful nature is preserved for generations to come.
We should do what we can to protect the environment and keep it clean.
There are many more things that have to be done to protect the environment. ICETT is working for a better world by promoting wise use of the planet's resources and ways to protect the global environment. ICETT invites people from developing countries to its facilities here in Japan, sends its own staff to teach environmental technology overseas, and conducts various kinds of research on environmental problems. This brings us to the end of today's talk. I hope it's given you some idea about how important it is for us to preserve nature and protect our delicate environment from being damaged.
From now on, we gotta take better care of where we live.
Right! Let's protect our precious planet.